Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Annie and this is Unity Consciousness. I thank you so much for stopping by today. And I also would like to welcome any new subscribers that have joined us since the last video and show how grateful I am for the blessing of anyone who stopped by today. Now, before we get started talking about the inner planets and the effects that they may have on you this week, I do want to talk about some of the outer planets and the aspects that are going to help us with some forward progress in the very, very near future. So the Saturn-Uranus square has been bothersome for the last couple of years. We've spoken about it before, but Saturn and Uranus is all about old or traditional style versus new style, restrictions versus wanting freedom. You know, the COVID lockdown this kicked in right shortly after that, where it was heavy restriction, not a lot of freedom. And then as Uranus became stronger in that struggle, now the freedom is ours to have with less restrictions because we have accepted the responsibilities necessary with that freedom, so we can manage that energy a little bit better. We have learned through that process, but that square is moving apart, so we'll get some relief there. Then as well, Mars and Neptune in Pisces have been in the square. Mars is retrograde in Gemini. They have been in the square configuration for the past couple of months. And what that has meant is a lot of fogginess, lack of clarity relative to decisions that you want to make, because, Mars is in Gemini, that's decisions, two options. And Neptune in Pisces is, your intuition could have been blocked. It's a lot of forward progress, just not being able to do what it needs to do, and that's very frustrating. Well, that square, the last hit of that square was last week, and so that's going to start to dissipate too. So we should be getting a reprieve with that energy as well. And then this Saturday, Neptune goes direct. Neptune in Pisces is going to go direct, and it'll remain in shadow until mid-March. It takes a while. It's an outer planet, so it takes a while for it to get up to speed. But the fact that it's going station retrograde to stationing direct is going to amplify that energy. We'll talk more about that at the end of the video. But also the Uranus is pulling away from, Uranus is going to go direct, and that's our last outer planet to go direct for a little while, meaning progress is coming, folks. But Uranus is going to go direct, I believe it's on the 22nd or 24th-ish of January. And when Uranus goes direct, it's really going to start pulling away from the north nodes, which means that's going to be less interruptions for our greatest good or our path at hand. And I really do like that. Uranus was conjunct the full moon total lunar eclipse, the really rough eclipse that we just went through during that eclipse cycle. So the energy will still be with us, but certainly by the time we get to March, that's going to be a thing of the past. We're really going to be moving forward. So that's encouraging. Again, very encouraging aspects from the outer planet perspectives. Let's talk about the inner planets this week. So we have some complicated energy relative to Mercury and Venus. Mercury and Venus are within, a few degrees of each other. So first it'll be Mercury making aspects, and then Venus will be making aspects a day or two later. So whatever your mind or your words, communication goes through, then your heart and your money is going to be going through it a couple days later. So let's break it down. First, before all of that starts, we do have Mars, which is retrograde in Gemini, is going to trine Saturn in Aquarius. I do like this energy. This tells me that during this Mars retrograde cycle, Mars and Gemini, anywhere where you have stepped up and taken responsibility for things is going to be rewarded, because Saturn likes to reward. It will restrict, but then it's also the planet of reward. So I'm excited about this energy. Then shortly thereafter is when Mercury in Sagittarius is going to make, first it's going to oppose Mars in Gemini, which again, Mars is retrograde in Gemini. Super scattered energy. You might jump to conclusions, you might hear some information. It's Mercury, that's communications. There could be some communications that just sets you off. And I would ask you to pause and reflect, because not shortly thereafter, Mercury is going to trine Saturn. So any place where you have taken responsibility or shown restraint will be rewarded. Now, like I said, that's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Venus then steps into that forum where she's opposed the cosmic lover, her cosmic lover, Mars, which is in Gemini. Not good for relationships. There could be some pretty heated words, or you may feel something that may not necessarily even be true, that causes some type of a conflict. Again, I would suggest to be mindful, pause, step away if you need to, because whatever you accept responsibility for, if there is some type of a regret for a purchase made, again, Venus is about relationships and or money, or a relationship situation that gets sour real quick, anywhere where you're accepting responsibility, I do think that will be rewarded. So be mindful, step away, create space where you need to, allow others to have the space they need. So if someone's coming at you, just recognize they may be feeling this energy, but just not quite sure what to do with it. Be mindful at whichever end of this you find yourself on. Also on Thursday, Mercury is going to square, Mercury in Sag is going to square Neptune in Pisces. And remember I said Neptune's getting ready to turn direct. So that energy is amplified. And gosh, this speaks about delusion. Mercury is the planet of communications and thought processes. In Sagittarius, it's very worldly, but it also expands. And when you have these two energies coming together, it's just delusional and scattered. One good thing, though, it is going to move quickly. These are all planets. They're inner planets. They're going to move quickly. If you can just be patient with the process and allow, we're coming off of a outer planet, pretty significant retrograde cycle. And we've learned some things. When we were asked to pause in all those areas that were affected by those outer planets, we have learned some things. So now it's time to take that learning and apply it to these inner planets when they make these aspects that are less than pleasant in our lives. Step up and accept the responsibility for what's yours, but also create space for others in case they're the ones that are having a hard time. So, evaluate your personal response, that's for sure. We can apply those lessons of the retrograde season and also the eclipse season that was just that we just went through. That energy is going to be with us for a couple more months yet, but we can extract the positives from those situations and apply them so that we have patience as some of these inner planets get triggered this week, wanting us to react versus respond. One good thing I do have to say, if you are a creator, music, art, this energy is super good for that. So there could be a conflict that arises and you're not quite sure what to do with yourself. If you are a creative genius, go create. Because Neptune is all about intuition, creativity, the arts. So if you are an artist in any way, shape, or form, and like I said, you get triggered, go lock yourself in your room where you write music or produce music or you draw or design, and you would be shocked at what starts flowing. Remember, Neptune is going direct, so some of that fogginess may even begin to clear. Some of these configurations that create a bit of consternation may bust through some of that fogginess that you've had. So if you are a creator, just know this is a good week for you to produce some really wonderful things. We did talk about Neptune going direct, so I think just be mindful. Be mindful this week of others. Be mindful of your words. Purchases, I think I would be careful making large purchases this week with the Venus configurations opposing Mars, and then the trine with Saturn. It's asking you to kind of hold off on big purchases or jumping off cliffs. So let's take a look at the card that was pulled for this week. I am using the Keepers of the Light tarot deck. Love this deck. And the card for today is Lady Nada. Let me make sure that you can read that. Lady Nada. There we go. Lady Nada is said to be another incarnation of Mary Magdalene. But even if she is, the energies are slightly different. Lady Nana is a mighty spiritual priestess of love who once existed in the land, excuse me, the land of Atlantis. She is the light force that helps us awaken our heart to the divine love we deserve, the light keeper whose essence allows the light within our hearts to expand, revealing a true, real, naked, and vulnerable aspect of our soul. She brings an opportunity to experience divine love, whether through a relationship, adventure, or experience. Boy, it sure sounds like that. We're going to need this week. So, like I said, practice patience, open your heart, and be mindful of others as they work through some of these processes. That's all I have for you this week. So if you liked the video, please do click the like button. If you know someone who could be helped by this video, please keep in mind, I am not an astrologer. I am an interdimensional translator of energy. I am an intuitive. I get definite hits on energy when I feel it, and I am compelled to share how I would use this energy with others so that you can use it for your greater good, that you can understand it a little bit more. That's my goal and focus. So if you know somebody who could be helped as well, please do share this video with them. If you'd like to know when videos are being dropped, click the subscribe button and you will know when videos are being dropped. Have a pleasant week. Namaste.